Hey there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and a new Christmas card making video. I am going to be sharing with you my favorite fresh holiday color combination for 2023. I've been making a bunch of cards with these soft, pretty colors and of course a touch of pink in there. So we are going to play with some Trinity Stamps products today from their latest holiday release to make 2 cards, and then I'm going to share with you a few other cards I've made with this color combination as well. So I'm going to start out with this Ice Friends stamp set. Now I love critter stamps. They are probably one of my favorite stamp sets to get, and these are so wintry and holiday in their ice skates. There's even a little bear playing hockey. Here you can see them already colored and die cut out because I already did this for the Trinity Stamps giant release. So it was time for me to now use those images. I'm also going to be using that Embossed Hills and Slopes set, this triangle tree stack die set, which I'm in love with how my trees turned out. I'm going to use the retro snowflake wrap background stamp. Look at how cool this is with the little snowflakes inside those shapes. It's so cool. All right, then I will use for my sentiments mini winter greetings. I'll use a couple of these things in card number 2 as well, plus some others. All right, so we're going to start out by creating like the scene part of this card. My card base is 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. I'm going to cut a larger hill in, and then below that hill, I'm going to cut away this pond. Now, this is the die that cuts out the stamped pond, but I'm going to use it without the stamp this time. And then I want a third layer on my card that's just a little bit of a hill in the very front of the card. So you can see I'm going to lay them out side by side so I can make sure that everything's going to fit on there. And the piece I'm just cutting the bottom off is actually going to be my background layer so I don't waste it. So here you can see all the different pieces. I can also save that die cut pond and use it later. You don't have to use it with the stamp. The only piece I'm not going to use right now is that piece I just took away, and I'll show you how I'm going to layer these up. So the pond will have that background piece behind it, and then that little tiny hill in the front. So 3 layers there. But we need to add some ink to this. So I'm going to make a pencil mark where my largest hill is because I want to ink blend the sky, but I don't want that ink blending to come down below the line and make my pond background pink. So I've got the pencil line there, and I'm adding in some spun sugar. I'm going with really light colors for this sky, so I am really just dusting it lightly, and then I'm going to come in from the top with peacock feathers. Now I love this color, but it can be really intense, so that's why you'll see a lot of ink on my glass mat, because I started on my glass mat and worked my way towards the paper because I just wanted like a glow of peacock feathers. The 2 colors barely overlap, but they're soft enough that it's really okay. I took the same brush that has that peacock feathers on it and used it to dust the edges of my hills and the edge of my pond. Now you can see there's a spot there I got like a little too much ink. That is just an opportunity for me to embellish with some stamped images or die cuts. Next, I am taking some ink on 3 Pixie Dust, and this is liquid form, so I can easily use my scraggly little paintbrush and create a very fine mist of shimmer across that background. You can see it when you turn it in the light there. So good. All right, so now I'm going to build my shaker. I am making the shaker on this card a part of my scene. So this pond is going to be my shaker. I've added glue around the edge, and then attached to that glue is the window sheet. And now I'm going around that, making a reservoir for my shaker bits with this foam tape. You want to make sure that your ends touch all the way so that none of your shaker bits can escape. So now that that is ready to go, I'm going to glue down my background because I need to know where my shaker elements are going to go. And those are going to be these cave crystal confetti bits. They are iridescent, but they really are just kind of that blue, pink, teal color, a little purple in there, and it is like the perfect match for this card. By the way, my card is 5 by 7, but you can see I just have a really thin border of my card base all the way around, and I love how that turned out. Now I removed the backing from my foam tape, put my pond in place, and now I can put that very thin hill in the front just to give it a little bit more depth. And then for the trees, I have this really fun green color here, this kind of minty green, and I'm going to use that to die cut out 4 different trees. But I decided before I die cut them out, I'm going to stamp and emboss this paper. So I'm treating it with anti-static powder. Then I'm going to ink up the stamp with clear embossing ink. I'll place the paper flat onto the stamp, and I like to press down and rub that way versus trying to put the stamp down onto the paper. Now that was clear ink, so you can't really see it until you add the clear embossing powder. That's going to stick to it, and then I shook off any excess and melted that with my heat gun, and that's going to melt that powder so it's raised up and shiny. And it's just a subtle addition to these trees, but it looks amazing. It really will show up good at the end of this demonstration. You'll see a photo of the card, and that's where you can really see that embossing shine. I love how these trees turned out. So there's my 4 trees, all different sizes. There's, plenty of sizes in that stackable tree, and think about all the different things you could stamp on the trees to bring them a little bit extra texture and interest. Now my largest tree was a little bit too tall, so I had to trim that down, and then I'm going to put the smaller trees behind the hill and the bigger trees in front of the hill. So they're going to need a little bit of foam tape on the back and then glued down to the hill, and then I'll just glue those other ones straight to the card and just kind of arrange them in a cute little scene, but leaving the center of the card open for my sentiment. So there we have it, and I just thought, I need a couple more trees. And I still had enough of that paper that I could die cut 2 smaller trees. So I'll bring that die set back out, cut 2 mini trees. Look how cute. This isn't even the smallest one. There's like 4 more, I think, that are smaller than this one. So I'm going to create a cluster of 3 trees on each side, and I liked that a lot. And the other one I'll stick on the other side, and it'll kind of poke up between the 2 trees. I love that look. All right, so there is my little forest. It's looking good. And now we're ready for our ice skating critters. They're darling. I especially love the hat on this bunny, how it has the opening for the 2 ears, or the space for 2 ears, and it's got little tufts at the end. Then we have our deer and then the penguin. And so I'll put all 3 of those on the pond, gluing them into place. And there's actually 3 trees, but I'm going to take 2 of the trees from the stamp set and glue them on that very front layer. I know the trees in front are probably bigger than the trees in back. I get it, but this is a handmade card and I can make it however I like, and I love, love, love how it turned out. Okay, for my largest sentiment, I am taking the mini winter greetings and die cutting out the letters from a piece of white glitter cardstock backed with rip and stick sheets. So it's a double-sided adhesive sheet. That's going to turn each one of my tiny skinny little letters into a sticker, so I do not get frustrated trying to stick them down onto this pink shadow layer. And I learned this tip from Lauren, who's also on the Trinity Stamps design team with me, that when those letters stick into your die and they have adhesive on the back, you can press the die up against that shadow layer and the letters will stick down to the shadow layer, and it is like the quickest and easiest way to adhere them. So check it out. Let's do it one more time, lining up the die so you've got that border all the way around of that shadow layer, and then you can use your pokey tool to help you press them out and just kind of squeeze it together and it'll transfer onto there. And it looks so good. You might just have to pick out the little pieces like the center of the R, the center of the A, things like that. And then I'm going to glue those down in that opening I left at the top of the card, and the pink with the white glitter letters makes me so happy. It's so good. All right, so there is my shaker, and I needed a little something extra on this card. So I brought in the Freezin family, which is going to be the star of the next card I share with you, and I'm using the snowflakes. There's like 9 or 10 little snowflake stamps in this set. So this is a set I'm going to reach for time and time again, just so I can use these tiny snowflakes. I love them. So I'm going to use 3 different snowflakes and just continue to stamp them on here. Now, I did feel a little bit scared, a little bit nervous, like what if I mess up? But it happens so to be that there are dies to cut out every single one of those snowflakes. So if I did mess it up, I could always stamp, die cut them out, and stick them down. But as luck would have it, my snowflakes turned out gorgeous, and I love that little embellishment of just some stamped snowflakes. Now, I didn't want to leave out the inside of the card, so I'm going to add that stamped pond because I already had it done. There's also a fox, and he's darling, so he's going to be skating on the inside of the card. So we're just like continuing the scene from the outside of the card onto the inside of the card. I'm adding another sentiment that says, have an ice day. Oh, I think I forgot to say on the outside of the card, there's a sub-sentiment there that says skating by to say hi. So there's plenty of cute punny sentiments in this Ice Friends stamp set. So there's the inside of the card. I think having a little fun surprise on the inside is really fun. So there's my shaker inside the pond. I love how that turned out. And it's just a fun scene. And these colors are like my favorite for Christmas or holiday cards this year. So let's make another one. This is the Freezin family stamp set. 4 little snowmen in a row. I have used this stamp set so much this year. I love snowmen too. And plus there's critters in there. Critters and snowmen together. I'm happy. There's 3 sentiments there and all those fun snowflakes. Here you can see them colored and die cut out with all the coordinating dies. And now we're going to make a card. So we're going to take the other new background stamp from the holiday release, Pine Forest, and we're going to do the same type of embossing. So clear ink with clear powder, but this time I'm going to do it on white paper. So of course I want to treat my paper with an anti-static powder, and then I'm inking up that background stamp with some clear embossing ink once again, and then pressing my paper onto the stamp. Now these background stamps being clear stamps, your paper doesn't scoot around. It stays right there, so you can really just rub on there and make sure that image transfers to your paper. All right, we've got our clear embossing powder that I'm pouring on, and then it's time to heat set this. Now this time I am making a square card. So this card is going to be 5 inches, I think it's 5.5 inches. It's a large card. And so my background is actually just a little bit smaller than that. And it is going to be ink blended over the top of that embossed background. So I've got my sponge sugar ink that I'm using my Blending Buddy brush to put in the center. So I wanted the center of this background to just be a little bit lighter, like a highlight. And then around the edge, I'm bringing in Kitsch Flamingo. Now I absolutely love pink for Christmas. I love putting pink with green. I love putting pink with red. But these soft teal and mint green and pink, it makes me so happy. I love it so much. So let me know what you think of this color combination in the comments below. I know it's probably not for everybody, but I'm in love with it. So I had to share it with you because it's just fresh and new. And you know, when you've been making Christmas cards as long as I have for over 25 years, finding something that it makes you excited again is sometimes a game changer and really sparks your mojo. So did you see that? I used that same ink on 3 splatter, but this time used a bigger paintbrush and got bigger splatters. So if you want the fine mist, use a scraggly paintbrush. If you want the bigger splatters, maybe add a touch of water and tap it on with a larger paintbrush. All right, I die cut out a little hill and 2 of the trees from that embossed edge Hills and Slopes die set. That little hill will go at the bottom, and it's a place for my snowmen to stand on. And then I'll have a little tree on either side, and this again is that white glitter paper. And so the glitter in this paper is not iridescent. It's just white. It's just sparkly. It's like sugar. All right, so there's my stamped image die cut out, and you'll notice when you die cut out that Freezin family, there's a little snow in the stamped image that gets die cut away that you would only see if you were to stamp that directly on a card and not die cut it out. All right, so now we have Cozy Winter Wishes on this card. I'm putting it kind of in an arch. I'm going to leave a space right below that for our sub-sentiment that says, from our family to yours, die cut out. And then for the snowflakes on this card, I wanted to use all those snowflakes that I had stamped and die cut out. So those are going to be the embellishment for this card. And you can see they're just as cute when they're die cut out. All right, I'm adding this to my card base, and it will have a little bit of that soft teal color peeking out around the edge. I love a border on my cards. I don't know, I just like that look so much. And then I have a couple snowflakes left over. I'm going to stick on the inside. Not a lot going on the inside of that card, just a little touch of something. And that is card number 2 with my fresh holiday color combination. But it's not the only cards I have made with this. In previous videos, I have used this color combination. I'll show them to you here. I do have videos for these two. I will link the 2 extra videos of these cards at the end of this video. This one has the really cute Frostbite Cafe stamp set on it. The shaker window is a snowflake, and then it's got some hot foiled snowflakes on it. That retro Christmas wrap in the background. So good. Okay, now this card is made with the set you can no longer get. This was the stamp set by Trinity Stamps for Simon Says Stamps Stamptember, and it sold out like that. But I wanted you to see the color combination, and maybe you're one of the people that bought it and you can see the inspiration here. This is a full panel shaker. It's got those hills and slopes in it. Such a fun card, and a circle shaker card there as well. So I'll link those videos for you here. I thank you so much for stopping by. Let me know what you think of this color combination, and I will see you guys all again very soon on the next video. Happy stamping! Bye!